month, Dr. Howard said that he was interested in taking a look at what we called our all-staff meetings and getting some feedback from you to change the name and the agenda to be more representative of your feedback. And then he said something that I'll never forget, and it was, "Tawny, can you work on that?" Shortly afterward, we sent out a survey to all of you, and about 136 of you responded, which I thought was great. And the intent of the survey was to first change the name. And I think that was important. As we were walking around this week, we actually talked to an adjunct faculty member who said that she doesn't attend the all-staff meetings. And when Dr. Howard asked why, she said, well, it's an all-staff meeting and I'm faculty, so I shouldn't need to be there. So we want to be clear that this is an all-inclusive, all CPTC employees event or meeting monthly. And so 66.9% of you chose Keeping Connected, and that's what it will be called. 74 out of 130 people who chose to answer the question chose that they would like for cookies to be served. And, yeah. I was going to say, Greg was already complimenting that.
I understand most of you could not applaud because you probably have cookies. I understand.
And about 39.6% of those who responded wanted to keep it on Tuesdays. So moving forward, our Keeping Connected meetings will continue to take place on the third Tuesday of each month at 3 o'clock. And we look forward to continuing to get your feedback through our Keeping Connected webpage and your emails, whether that's to me or to Dr. Howard or one of your vice presidents, letting us know the things you'd like to hear or discuss and moving forward. So we're going to start now today with introductions of new employees who were hired and have started since October 15th. And since I'm up here, I will introduce someone first, and that is Liz Glavish, who is joining us as a relatively new graduate from Central Washington University. She's our college relations specialist. If you haven't turned around to see her, you're going to want to. Oftentimes I will get emails from folks who have an event that is happening and want to promote that it's happening or take photos of the event or write a story. So if you can't get a hold of me, get a hold of Liz. As our college relations specialist, she's going to be focused on both customer relations and on content production for our blog and our social media. So welcome, Liz. Thank you. And Ted, if you'd like to come stand up, there you go. Yeah.
Good afternoon. I think last month I was sitting there, somebody introduced me, but I'm happy today to introduce a new counselor in advising and counseling, Kevin Kildunn. Kevin joined us about 3 weeks ago. He comes from Highline Community College. He was an educational there. He's been a resident of Tacoma for quite a while, so he's very happy to be working in Tacoma. And as Dr. Howard said, at the best two-year technical and community college in the state. So Kevin comes to us with a lot of experience. Part of what he'll be doing is working with our Running Start population. And we're very excited he's going to help us grow that program by making connections with our local high schools, working with Janet. And he brings some experience as a school counselor on the other end of Running Start. So we're very happy to have him. Thank you, Kevin.
And June? Want us to come up here? If you'd like. Yeah, we're recording it for everyone that can't be here.
Okay, well, I'll ask Cal to come up too. Whoops. He just tripped over my purse. And I'd like to introduce Cal Irwin Sabra. He is our new Director of Student Programs and Event Services. And Cal comes to us from Grays Harbor, where he was the Director of Student Programs there. And he also managed their Performing Arts Center, so he has experience in both sides of this two-hatted position that we have. And Cal is also originally from Tacoma, I think. He received his master's degree at Western in the program there that has really put out excellent people for our system. So we'd like to welcome you, and he started yesterday. And I'd just like to say that right at the end of my tenure here, you know, Student Services has been heavily female. Ron's been our stalwart for years. And just when I'm leaving, we've hired Ted, Kevin, and now Cal.
Good afternoon. I would like to introduce to you Karen Dollywall. Now, stand up. Okay. So Karen has been hired to be my opportunity grant and BFET office assistant. She'll do an amazing job. And one thing I really love about her is that she makes sure I get lunch. Yes, she's really good about that. But, you know, I like doing some homegrown kind of things. So Karen comes to us. Actually, Karen is a graduate from Clover Park Technical College Human Services Program. And she is working on her bachelor's degree with Evergreen. And she's working full-time, and she is a mother. And she has a cold, but she still wanted to come to work. And she's doing a great job, and you all just send people her way, okay? Thank you.
And Kendra.
Hello, I'm going to introduce Sean Thomas. He is our new library technology technician. Sean is a graduate of Clover Park as well. Sean has worked with the help desk for 6 months and worked as an intern under Frank for 6 months. Very smart guy, comes with a lot of background and been doing a great job for us. Even before he was hired on full time, he was a temp for us as well over in the library in a tech position. So he started last month, been here a little bit over a month now, and he's just doing a great job. Welcome.
Well, thank you everyone for indulging me. And next up is Dr. Lonnie Howard with his President's Update.
Good afternoon, everyone. My goal during these meetings is really to give you a snapshot in time, month by month. On my first day, September, next slide, please. September 16th was my first day. On the 20th of September, I presented to you my vision for the college. And I was so delighted. Tony, which building was that we toured? Where there was actually the 37. On the board, that was actually the 3 strategic goals. I was so impressed with that. In fact, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Where's Waldo, but I actually signed the list to say, hey, look, I was here on this date. Because the person at the desk was not there. So I wanted to leave them a personal note. So when they came back, they could actually read that. But again, it's all about building synergy around these 3 goals. I think even before I came, I think there was great work being done. And as I said to you on September 20th, we're not trying to reinvent the wheel. There's great work already being done. It's about how do we align our resources with the good efforts that are already taking place. And to do this, I simply suggested that number 1, we increase student success and educational access. Number 2 is to become more responsive to our local community and to business and industry. And number 3, as an institution, to become more entrepreneurial. Next slide. And to really do this, you might recall that, I'm sorry, I just got distracted by the candy and the gold. But to do this, I'm proposing, or I did propose, that we kind of rethink and relook at our institution in terms of its decision-making authority, whereby we make it more inclusive, get more people at the table, particularly those individuals, not just at the mid-level, but all through the organization, to really look at the executive team in terms of its structure, to make it more broader, to make it more representative of faculty and staff. Also, to propose the development of a presidential cabinet. And how can we align these two bodies with the existing college assembly as well as with student government in terms of just sheer decision-making authority. Also, in terms of the timeline, in October, Iron Mike from aviation instructor, we selected him as our first recipient for the President's Unsung Hero. And this was something that I came up with to really, one, tie it back to those three goals that I talked about: increasing student success, becoming more responsive to the community, and as well as becoming more entrepreneurial. And you might recall, if you attended, that I said that Mike epitomizes this in the fact that he developed, or actually took a forklift and secured a shell for a flight simulator and had his students as a project wire this up according to code, and the net value of this simulator is approximately $65,000, and it's been in use for the last couple of years. Again, at the faculty level, that is a prime example of being entrepreneurial. So now for November, where are we? Well, November 19th, our new president's unsung hero is Christy Gillen. Christy? From September 16th, my first day on the job, until November 19th, today, Christy really has exemplified this whole notion of increasing student success, because without her efforts, both faculty and staff alike, our facilities, our offices, our work environment would not be clean, would not be really conducive both to work or to learning. And you might recall that I started off as a janitor. So greatness is not defined by one's title, one's salary, or the number of people that they supervise. Greatness is about the ability to serve others. And to me, Christy, your level of service, both to the students here at Clover Park as well as to our faculty and staff, is really head and shoulders above all a lot of what we do. In fact, you inspire me. Your big smile is always encouraging. Coupled with the fact that, I don't know if everyone knows, but Christy also, on her own dime, her own money, she brought in her own vacuum cleaner and bag. And actually, when Clover Park was having some financial issues, she brought her own supplies. I begged her, don't ever do that again. But again, it's that kind of can-do spirit that really, I think, makes you our unsung hero for November. So Christy, on behalf of all of the faculty and staff, here at Clover Park. Please accept this token on our behalf. Thank you so much. So, in addition to having our November Unsung Hero, what else have we done? I really want to report back on some of the progress we've made. This is part of our presidential cabinet. These are the new members, and you might notice here that I have the word organic. The word organic is there because this is our beginning cabinet. It will change as we begin to accomplish goals. It will change. Members will be added and members will be removed. Simply because, and this group that we selected, it was simply based not on the person, but it was based on the functionality of their position. We wanted to make sure that we got a good cross-section of functions, of duties from across the college. So again, as we meet priorities and achieve goals, this list very well could change. You might recall also I said that the cabinet will be 20 members strong. There's 10 names up there. The other part of the president's cabinet, to maintain some sense of synergy, will also be the existing 10 members from the executive team. So that will be a total of 20 people. There were some people who wanted to be on the cabinet, which I thought should have been on the cabinet, but again, based on functionality and based on the fact that we not have a body of individuals that's too large. Can you imagine 25 people in one room with an hour and a half meeting trying to make decisions? Well, by the time you go across the room and ask everyone for their opinion, time is essentially gone. So again, we wanted a body that was small enough, that was still somewhat manageable, but still large enough where we would get a broad sense in terms of ideas and perspectives. And what else this cabinet will do is in the future, we will have an opportunity to invite individuals who are on, say for example, who serve on the college assembly or even from student government to actually come to the committee meetings and be a part of those based upon the subject matter. So that's the structure of the cabinet. And I will allow time at the end of this presentation for questions and answers. So if you have some, just kind of hold on to those and I will address them at the end of this 7-slide presentation. I'm very happy to announce that we have November 14th, the scholarship committee nominated or recommended our first presidential scholarship. You might recall on day one, September 16th, I said that before I even got my first paycheck, that I would commit $4,000 of my salary to helping a deserving student. I think several of you volunteered, since I hadn't gotten paid, to actually loan me some money. So I wrote the check yesterday, so please see me after this session. Those of you who agreed to help out financially, I'm calling it now, okay? But at any rate, we were able to award to Jonathan Barta. He is in his 4th quarter. I was told he is an environmental science student. I have yet to meet the gentleman. Hopefully this week we'll be able to get that done. So we're excited that we're able to give back and help students really complete their programs. Also, I have gotten emails in the past that I've responded to by, hey, look, Dr. Howard, we heard you were in building X, Y, and Z. When are you going to come over to our building? When are you going to come over and see us? Well, today, I'm happy to report that I have visited faculty and staff in buildings 37, 31, 25, 23, 22, and 5. We have more visitations planned, And again, I really want to thank Tonic publicly for helping facilitate this. And I will admit, last Friday, we visited Building 37, is that? And a lot of the faculty and staff were not there on Friday, so for those buildings that we visited on a Friday, we will try to come back again when there are more faculty, staff, and students present. I think I'm scheduled to be in that building again Thursday, and perhaps, I think there's an event Friday as well. So I am committed to coming out and not leaving behind a desk or leaving by email, but really trying to get to know each of you personally. And for me, these college walk-arounds are far more important than just getting to know you personally. Two of the central questions that I ask when I meet with faculty and staff during my walk-arounds, number one, how's everything going? How's it going? Number two is, do you have everything that you need? And what can I do to help? So we have a laundry list. And Tony said, you need to be careful with that, Lonnie, because you're really opening a can of worms. But we have a laundry list of issues then. A lot of these that we've already taken back to your VPs. And for me, it's helpful. Because again, I talked about the strategic direction, the vision for the college. Well, it's ludicrous to plan a vision for a college if you really don't know what the people on the ground think. If no one asks the people who are in the trenches what's their challenges, all of this needs to correlate with the budget in terms of allocation of resources. So again, this is all part of the process. And is Dan here? I don't know if Dan is here. Dan Main. Well, Dan's not here. And so I'm glad Dan is not here because I can put my spin on the story. Was it last week? Last week I had an opportunity to do a presidential welding demonstration. I was sharing with someone that perhaps in the entire state of Washington, I'm the only president who's ever been a certified welder. So again, I went out to the welding lab. Can we go to the next slide? Slide number 2 and photo number 2 and photo number 3 are pictures of me actually welding. Slide number 2, I'll go ahead and set this up. Picture number 2, that's me raising my hood, challenging Dan Main to a welding contest. And since Dan is not here, I won. Please do not go back and tell Dan. And of course, it's like a big fish story. Of course, he'll have a different version, but believe my version, I won. And slide number 3 is actually me under my hood, actually welding for the students. And I said to them, and I said to Dan, and I constantly say to faculty, be very careful how you entertain strangers. Be very careful in your classrooms how you look at your students, how you treat your students. And I shared with you, I have had classes before when the instructor said, look to the student to your left and look to the student to your right, and perhaps that student will not be successful or will not make it through the class. And we have to be careful with that type of logic, that type of rhetoric, because we never know who's going to be the next president. And I said to the students, hey, look, guys, as unbelievable as it sounds when I told that to the class, I said, when someone told me that 20, 30 years ago, I never envisioned myself standing before you today. So that suggests to me that there is greatness, that propensity for greatness, that notion of the American dream, that willingness to succeed, it's in everyone. So again, that's the whole notion. I think that, and the reason why we're here is to help individuals better their lives. And again, I have walked in their footsteps, and I understand personally. And speaking of walking in their footsteps, as a single dad, photo number 1, I had the good fortune a few weeks ago, 34 3- and 4-year-old students, children from our daycare center on campus. I will never forget. My office is not that large. There was 34 3- 4-year-old children, 7 teachers, and 3 parents, all were in my office, presenting artwork to the president. And I told the kids it was amazing. I really, really did like it. And they were just, that show, kids say the darndest things. It played out in my office. But at any rate, and I would encourage each of you, please, you don't need an appointment, come by my office. I told the kids, hey, look, pick out a spot on the wall. Whatever spot you pick out, that's where I'll put your artwork. And I had to move a PhD or 2 around, but I made sure I honored their request. So come in my office, and again, it might not be a Van Gogh, but it touched my heart nonetheless. And photo number 4, Halloween. Wendy's group, where's Wendy? Is that you, Wendy, with the bone in your hair? Okay, I just wanted to kind of be clear on that. I have this on my wall. And by the way, in terms of my office, I've kind of done some things a little bit differently. Because that office is not about me. It's about you. 359 full-time, part-time employees here at Clover Park. I've dedicated a whole wall to you. So if you come in my office, you'll see these kind of photos. Because it's not my college, it's your college. And I want to make sure that's represented every time you come in my office. And plus, as the CEO of the college, I never want to forget the fact that, and I ascribe to this notion of servant leadership. It's not about the president. It's about the faculty and staff, and what we do to help support students. It's about that level of humility and service. And number 5 is the SG Presidential Block Party. Can you raise your hand? Great, thank you so much. Put on a great presentation. Junior Eric does great work. It's Ron, great work, and Ted in terms of helping provide services to our students. And lastly, in terms of the community, Lakewood United, had an opportunity to go out and engage with the community. Again, it's about building those kind of positive partnerships. Next slide. So that concludes my presentation / update, but I want to give you a couple of minutes if you ask questions or you want to make comments. This is your opportunity, because this Keeping Connected is not a time for you to be lectured to or presented to. It's a time for us to engage, an open dialogue. Any questions, comments? Did anyone save me cookies? I saw some of you again with a lot of them. I saw a couple of people, I'm not going to call any names, I just kind of carried a big purse today. I'm not going to point any finger to call any names. I'm going to do that. Anything for me? Thank you so much.
Okay, a couple of new things today in our agenda, and this next presentation is a part of that. And I just want you to know that one of the things that was asked for the most in our survey was an opportunity to put a spotlight on a program and a faculty member. And so today, Kurt is here to talk to us. Where did he go? He's hiding from me now. There he is. To talk to us about his program. Kurt, would you like to come up?
So for those who don't know me, Kurt Freeman, auto collision restoration customizing instructor. They asked me Friday afternoon after I left to come talk to you guys a little bit about my program. So in my email and on my phone Monday morning, that was how I found out I was doing this. So some of you get to do this after me. Our program is based on hands-on experiences. We try to work on live customer work. So that can range anything from small damage on your private vehicle to one of the projects we're working on right now, and that's we're painting additions to the Shelton Police Department motor fleet. So students are preparing and painting new police cars, and I say new to them. They're actually recycled police cars. One of them came from the Washington D.C. Police Department, which seems odd to come all the way across the country, but that's the way the surplus system works. We've done this several times in the past. We've done Pierce County Sheriff's Department vehicles. We've done an ambulance that went to Mexico that was donated by Tacoma and Pierce County. Refurbished it. The vehicle went to Mexico to help a small community there. We've done sheriff's boats. Other public service entities contact us regularly. We can provide them a service at a reasonable cost, helps them out, helps us out, we get to train students. So that's a little project we're doing currently. Primarily though, it is customer-based work. Customers bring a vehicle in, we write an estimate, we take the project through the whole process, start to finish. So interview the customer, find out what their needs are, what the condition of their vehicle is, all the way through to detail and delivery and hand the customer their vehicle back in better shape than they do it to us. So for anybody that needs small damage repair, that's something we do. We don't do insurance work. We don't do total losses. So, but our doors are open. It's a great service. We try to help out as many people in the community. We've helped out lots of students over the years. Several of them, they get in a spot, they don't have insurance, a little fender bender, whatever, we can help them out. So, anybody have any questions of me? Yeah.
How big is your program?
There's two instructors, we run anywhere from 40 to 50 students at one time.
Is that max by the lab space that you have, or?
Yeah, that's as much lab space, or as many people as the lab space can handle. Yeah, that's a little problem. That's some of it, yeah.
How long is the program?
The program is broken up in several different manners. We can do a one-year degree, we can do short-term certificates of 6 months. Then there's an advanced option to go into the restoration end of it. The person could be here about 2.5 years if they took all of it in my area. Great question. Anybody else?
How far are you booked out?
Well, for work, surprisingly not that far. One of the things that people tend not to realize is it's not free. We have to pay for materials and there are some fees associated with it coming through the facility. So mostly it's about making an appointment, come in, we'll write an estimate, and we see where it goes from there. Yeah. Ron's been a long time customer of ours. There's a few faces around the room. There's a few faces around the room. Years, unfortunately. Yeah, that's the one caveat I have to worry about. They are students, they are learning, they do make mistakes. The one thing I can say is when we deliver it to you, it won't look like students did the work. That's a guarantee. Yeah.
Where do most of the students end up working?
It's funny, not always in our industry. We have a lot of people in Boeing, we have a lot of people in public transportation. We put people to work in Seattle at Genie Pilot. We've got people all over the area. Composites, you name it. There's little pieces that somebody can take away from different areas of our programs, end up in places they didn't realize they were going to go to. Casket manufacturing. Lots of things. So, yeah.
Do you still partner with LeMay?
Oh, yes. Yeah, we do. That's the thing with LeMay. I don't know how many of you are familiar, but there's two entities of LeMay. There's the family and then there's the museum organization. They're not the same thing. We work very closely with the family from time to time. We have worked very closely with the museum, not so much lately, but we do, yeah. And there's lots of rumors about us in LeMay. Just remember the rumors. I heard one time that they paid for this building. No? So. Any other questions? Yeah?
I know that you're a student instructor program, so I introduce yourself.
Oh, my co-instructor, Greg Richards, hiding in the back. Yeah, I'm the new guy, right? So what is it? It'll be 13 years in January. Greg doubles that, plus. Greg was actually a graduate of the program, so not me. I went to the competition once. I'm sorry. I don't work there. Any other questions? Thanks for your time.
Thank you, Kurt. I thought that was fantastic, and thank you everyone to such great questions to lead the discussion. We now are going to invite Doug up to talk to us a little bit about the Learning Resource Center services for students. Ready, Doug? You have a little trepidation in your...
What's that?
You look a little nervous.
I think when Connie was arranging the guest speakers, she was looking for male faculty members with graying beards. Is that okay, I get it. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Doug Ammons. I'm one of the faculty librarians here. Elaine Holster is the other librarian. And if you don't know me, you need to come over to Building 15 and say hello. I want to talk about the Learning Resource Center, which is what we now call Building 15, and there's more over there than just the library. So I want to give you some information about what is over there. The library is there, of course, which is also the open computer lab for students to use. And I'm going to emphasize the resources for students, but the library and the resources over there, we really serve all of Clover Park Technical College. So any staff member, faculty member, you're welcome to come over, check out books, see what we've got available over there. So Technology Commons, the tutoring center is there. The e-learning office is now in the building with the library. And the TLC, the Teaching Learning Center, is over there. The library is open. The library and computer lab is open about 62 hours a week. So Monday through Thursday from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Friday we close at 4, so 7 to 4 on Fridays. And we are open on Saturdays from 9:30 to 2:30. So if your students are giving you an excuse that they don't have access to a computer on the weekend, tell them we are open on Saturday. They can come in and use the computers and the equipment we've got there. What do you need to know? The computer center, there's over 40 PCs over there in the library. The computer lab, also 3 Macs. So if you're a Mac user, we've got those. We have got 3 printers, copiers, scanners, multifunctional devices that the students can print from, any of those. What else? In the evening, well, anytime the library is open, we also have computer techs. So Sean is our main full-time computer tech over there. So students who have questions about software, computing, anything like that, you know, Sean or Eris are available to help them. So they're over there. What else? Whoops. The students should know there is a fee for printing in the library and the computer lab. It used to be free, but we were going through thousands of dollars of paper and ink and things like that. So there's kind of a nominal fee for printing now. There are black and white and color printing available. So, you know, anything they need to print, they can come up to the library and we can set them up. Scanners, if they need to scan something, there's no fee for scanning. The printers function, as you probably know, as scanning devices. We don't charge for that. We've got 7 group study rooms now. When I first started here, there was 2 small study rooms. Since the remodel, we've got 7. 3 are quite large. They could probably house up to 12 to 15 students. All the study rooms have nice flat screen monitors, so they can bring in their laptops, they can plug it into the monitor. If they're working on presentations or as a group, they can practice their PowerPoint, anything like that in the study rooms. As far as the print collection, we still have books. We've got about 12,000 titles over there, print, video, DVD. Students can borrow books for 28 days at a time. The videos and DVD are just for staff use as far as checking them out of the library. You can borrow any of the videos, DVDs for 3 days. The students, we can set them up in any of the study room if they want to watch a video or a DVD, so they can watch those in the library over there. One of the main questions we get from students is about textbooks. We typically don't have any of the required textbooks that they need. And the reason is very simply that those books are expensive and we just don't have enough money to buy all the required textbooks. We do, however, have some that are on reserve. So if you're an instructor, a faculty member, and you've got an extra copy of your required textbook, if you want to bring it over to the library so we can keep it on reserve, so they can come in and use it in the library, maybe photocopy a chapter, take some notes, that's a real big help. A lot of the gen ed faculty have done that. So we've got like English 101, speech books, a bunch of the biology, psychology, sociology. Students love that feature so that if they just can't afford the book or they're waiting for the financial aid, they can come in and still, stay up with the rest of the class because we got those books available. A couple other things. We do have a small fiction collection. So if you like reading for pleasure, we've got that. We have an even smaller collection of children's books. So if you have a small child, you want something to read to them, you can check those out. We do get the newspaper, Tacoma News Tribune, Seattle Times, every day, including the Saturday and Sunday paper. We keep about a month's worth of those available. We still get a few print magazines, not a lot, but we get things like Consumer Reports, National Geographic, Time and Newsweek, things like that. Most of the magazines that the library would have had in the past when we were going to school, we access through the databases that we have. So if anybody's here from South Hill campus, we have a lot of online resources, so you don't have to actually come into the library to access those. We subscribe to ProQuest, which is a database that covers every subject matter you can possibly think of. Okay. EBSCOhost is our allied health nursing database, and there are thousands and thousands of publications available through those databases. We also subscribe to something called eBerry, and the subject area, that's an ebook collection that we have. The subject areas there are computing and technology and nursing and allied health. There's about 8,000 titles that you can access from any computer with internet access on those. What else? That's just about it. Oh, Tutoring Center. Tutoring Center is located in Building 15. Kelly and Cindy are available over there from 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. You guys leave at 4 on Friday as well? Okay. So it's great to have them in the library. They used to be over in Building 16, right? Yep. So it used to be, we get a lot of questions about Canvas and online learning. And so we can help students with most of the Canvas questions they have, but when it comes, if Canvas is just acting up, which it rarely does, or they need to reset their password or something, we can just walk them a few feet and they can get help right there. So that's great. And then the Tutoring Center, I don't know if Kathy's here. Yeah, Kathy Metcalf, in charge of the Tutoring Center. They are typically open, if I get this right, 9 to 6, Monday through Thursday, yep. 9 to 4 on Friday, right? Yeah, so mostly math and English, but there's a few tutors there that go beyond that into like chemistry and computing and things like that. That's a well-used resource, and students love it. It's a great resource. There's also some evening tutoring in the math lab, one of the classrooms over in the library, Monday and Wednesday until 9 o'clock. Sam Parnell is available to do tutoring for students. So we close at 7. A lot of students like to go in there after 7 so they can get some additional help. So that's another great resource. And then the Teaching Learning Center for faculty, that's available there. Anytime the library is open, you can come in and use the resources that are in the Teaching and Learning Center. And a couple other things I just want to mention. If you do have recommendations for any kind of print material or videos that you would like to see added to the collection, we take those requests all the time. We got a fairly small collection budget, but we're happy to entertain any suggestions you might have as far as adding new material to the library. And if I'm missing anything. Yeah, that's it. Just like I say, remember our primary customers are students, but we are the library for the college. So faculty, staff, if you have any questions or want to come in and use anything, let me know. Any questions I might answer for you? Oh, sorry.
Do we have any full text article databases?
Yeah. So both ProQuest and EBSCOhost are primarily full text. Some of the material we can't get to the actual article, but the vast majority, the article's attached, so you can bring it up, print it out, save it to your computer, whatever you want to do. Yeah. And if you're on campus here or at South Hill, you don't need a login for the ProQuest database. If you're off campus and want to do research, we do need a username and password. I was going to bring over copies of the library brochure and distribute to everybody, but just for the sake of saving the paper, I'm going to email that out later today, and then you'll have a copy of it. You can keep it or send it to the trash bin, whatever you want to do. Other questions? Yep.
Actually, this isn't a question, this is
Oh,
a compliment.
sure.
So I'm going to stand up and do it. I don't know if everybody realizes it, but our library participates in Pierce County Reads. And every year, the county library system selects a book that is promoted throughout Pierce County, and our library always carries a few copies of it. And then there are activities all around Pierce County supporting the theme of that book. And I just really enjoy being able to come to our library and check out that book each year. So thank you.
Good. Anyone else? Joyce, that's it, Mike?
Thank you, Doug. That was a great description, very thorough, of the services offered there in our Learning Resource Center. We have a great staff and very student-oriented and very service-oriented. I couldn't resist the opportunity to give a 30-second announcement, not announcement, but I guess advertisement about accreditation visit next fall that relates to the library while we were talking about the Learning Resource Center. One way to be ready for that accreditation visit next fall, if you are a faculty member, first of all, please check out what is included for your area over there and give feedback to the librarians if there are additional resources that you think need to be included to update our materials there. And I know our librarians are always looking for that feedback, so please provide that. Second is integrate the use of library materials or internet materials information within your programs, because that will be looked at to see how we're doing that. So please be sure to do that. Thanks, Doug.
Okay, as my friend Linda comes up here to join me for our announcement, I just want to say that this meeting will only be as good as we all contribute to making it. And I want to thank Joyce and Mabel for calling the other day and saying, I noticed this is on there, can we add this? And it's that kind of feedback that we need in order to make these meetings meaningful and worthwhile. So I hope that you will feel comfortable, whether that's emailing me or submitting those on our webpage, to make sure that we are providing important and relevant information to make this worth your time. So thank you very much. Are you ready to go first? Sure. We are here to talk about the very exciting topic of inclement weather announcements. I know.
Okay, I don't know how many of you walked over here today, but I walked over and actually put my umbrella up because I could swear I was getting hit by sleet.
It was ice. We should close campus.
Yeah. No, not exactly. Okay, so what normally happens is we watch the weather the night before. We listen to what Pierce County's doing, what the transit bus system is doing, what the other schools are doing, K through 12, sometimes even the government, agencies will shut down. So we're scoping that out, but we're also checking the weather. So we've got facilities folks and other staff and administrative services that are out there, south, north, east, and west of the county, checking out their driveways and the streets and the hills that are right around their homes, assessing whether or not it's safe for our students and for us to come to work. So at about 4 o'clock in the morning, we'll be doing that if we haven't already decided sometime during the middle of the night. And then I'll be calling the president sometime before 5 and filling him in while he's, on his treadmill or lifting his weights. Better have your phone turned on. And then he will make the crucial decision about whether we're going to delay, whether we will close campus for the day, whether we will have nighttime activities. And then the message will get to Tawny.
Yeah, this is the important part, right? I mean, it's good due diligence, very important. The important part is how do you find out that you don't have to come to work that day? So here's what we do. We use our WENS alert system. So if you have not signed up for text messages, let me go ahead and add another commercial today. www.cptc.edu/prepare is a place where you can sign up for those text messages. We also will have a banner on our website that will tell you what the status is for that day. Or you can call, if you would prefer, 253-589-5707, which is our inclement weather phone line, where either Kendra or I will flip a coin about who has to record their voice and be embarrassed for the rest of the week. We'll also use social media posts, and finally, we do notify the media. So you'll be able to watch King 5 or whatever your favorite morning news show is, and you will hear the decision that is made, whether that is to delay or close the campus. Yes, sir. So we actually are with a different service this year. So we signed up through the Puget Sound ESD, and we're using it's Flash Alert. So you can go to that website if you want, but I'd recommend going to ours first because it's a little bit of a delayed reporting with them. We have to submit the report to them, and then they upload it so that everybody knows. Our website will be faster. Yes, Mike?
Would you please consider South Hill as
A different weather. Okay. I live walking distance from the campus, so I'm with you. Let's do this together.
Yes, but clothing South Hill doesn't help you.
That's true. Maybe I can work out a deal. Yeah, I think, there's strength in numbers, friends. Okay. Are there any other questions about inclement weather reporting? It's that time of year. Yes, ma'am, Candy.
Does the delayed start ever turn into a closure, and what's the timeline for that?
Can you say that one more time? I'm sorry.
Like a delayed start ever turn into a closure of the campus, and what would be the timeline for checking back about that? I asked because I live like an hour away. In
Yeah.
It has happened before where a delayed start has turned into a closure, and all I can say is just keep watching, because we will monitor as the time goes by.
And I think in my limited experience, but my experience because I was here when we did that, they have been very good about get here when safe to do so. What we don't want you to do is get on the roads ahead of time before the decision's made and get in an accident.
Debbie, have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
I just want to add that it would be good if we're going to delay the start to say we're opening at 10 a.m.
Okay.
We say a delayed start is 2 hours. It's very confusing because people have different start times.
I agree. We have people who start at 5 and up till 9.
Yeah.
And 3 in the afternoon. Don't forget that, too.
That's good feedback. Yes, ma'am. We will do that, yes. We did that last year and had good success. We'll do it again. Anyone else? Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to open myself up for a little bit of something embarrassing. But when I was a new instructor here, I was so excited when I saw on the TV that Clover Park School District was closed. That I called my friend and said, "Yoo-hoo, I get to stay home today." And much to my chagrin, when I came in the next day, found out the college had not been closed at all. Because we are not the Clover Park School District. So if you're new, you can understand, I can understand how you might be afraid to admit that. But we are not the Clover Park School District.
And I think that's too why Linda said we try and watch around us what's happening and hopefully make a joint decision. Any other questions? Thank you so much.
I will mention Policy and Procedures, Chapter 6, Section 3. Paragraph D3 talks about how to account for that missed time from work. You know, I've got to mention that. And check your CBAs and then read this. Okay.
CBAs.
Collective bargaining agreement, sorry.
Good. Okay. So before I call to see if there are any more announcements from the audience, I want to remind you that behind me and in front of me there are trivia questions that are going, and now's a good time to write down your answers so that if you are selected, you can be the trivia champion this month. And so at this time we're going to ask for, are there any cool things happening around campus that we all need to know about? Yes, absolutely. Besides that we're not Clover Park School.
My friend Maureen Sparks was nominated or volunteered to be on the State Board of Pharmacy scrutiny. Yeah, slide coming up. She actually is the first one that's been nominated or appointed to this position by the governor himself. So I think that she deserves applause for volunteering to do this because it's an added responsibility.
All right, anyone else? Debbie?
Can't forget about the president's reception
That's right.
coming up December 3rd in a couple of weeks in this room from 4 o'clock to 7.
That's right.
Please join us in officially welcoming Dr. House.
That's number 27 in terms of reception. It seems like I've hit a whole bunch of
We need to do one more.
By the way, guys, I'm just tired of I feel like I've been here for a while. And I'm not that type of reception party kind of guy. So this is number 3 in terms of receptions?
This is the official.
This is the real one.
What were the other 2 receptions?
Absolutely. December 3rd, 4 to 7 p.m. in this room will be the President's Open House Welcome Reception. Please join us. They will be emailing everyone so you will see the invitation. Yes. Mm. Any more questions? Ask Debbie. I got the basics. It sounds like Dr. Howard needs some help getting in the party spirit too, so you better come. And there will be food. Any other cool things happening around campus that we should mention?
Can we shamelessly promote?
You can shamelessly promote. Why not? That's cool.
I was gonna say something. On-ramp. Anybody know what on-ramp is? On-ramp is a program that we have through the ABE department for students that are 18 through 24. We're in partnership with the REACH program. It's a 2-quarter program that allows students for an intensive GED program along with some barrier assistance. So they get bus tickets, they get a $25 incentive fee for showing up for class, they get a great teacher in Sue Williams and some of the other ABE instructors that we have over there. They get $500 in tuition money to go towards their books and tuition after they make a CASAS gain. And they also can have a work experience while they're in that program. So that starts in January. I know you guys are like me, you're promoting education everywhere you go from Taco Del Mar to your doctor's office, right? So if you know any 18 to 24-year-old youth that just need that extra little incentive or push, we're starting the program in January, and I'd love for you to have them send them away. So tell them to get on the iBest internet site or our website and go to iBest and just contact me via email or phone.
And who are you?
Who are you? I'm Kat Lang, I'm the Ibex program specialist. Thank you, Kat. I don't matter. They matter.
Candy.
So right now we're actually, AFG is hosting a CPR certification course where we are training 30 students from across the campus, human services, lots of medical professions, all sorts of folks to get their CPR certification. And then on Thursday during the lunch period, we're going to be having a first aid open house in the Student Leadership and Service Center. So all those 30 students who are being trained tonight are going to volunteer Thursday. So anybody who wants to walk up and learn how to apply a bandage, make a sling,
Fantastic. Thank you. Jinglin?
Afternoon. I would like to let all of you know that one of the daytime programs that we have here on campus is extending into the evening. That is our hemodialysis program. Instructor Tammy Schuler will be teaching the course that is currently taught in the daytime program. She's, I guess you should say, shadowing the market. It's in the daytime program, but the program is going to be extended to the evening. And so that will be much shorter, and I would like to encourage you to let our community at large know that we have this great program, because those students are graduating for the program, the local wage is very phenomenal, so I'd like to share that.
Very good. Anyone else? Yes, ma'am, Shelley.
The diversity committee is hosting a brown bag lunch discussion tomorrow on inclusion in our campus. So if you'd like to join us, that is in building 23, room 212, from 11:30 to 12:30. So all staff and faculty and ASG officers are invited. So let's see that.
Okay, anyone else? Once, twice, sold? Okay. So, how many entries did we have today for the trivia cards? Ramel? You don't turn them in? Hold on to them. Ramel, how many did we hand out? 86. That's way off. Okay. What's about to happen is that my assistant here is going to randomly select a winner. However, you don't win unless you get your questions right. So now is the chance to use the resources around you to ensure you are able to answer all of these questions so that you can win the gold